Recording.
There it
Yeah,
is.
there it goes.
Hi, we are finally recording. Ta-da. Little red blinking light. Always a good thing. Oh, yes. The important things first. Cheers.
Cheers. Happy Sunday.
Second most important thing. Good morning. I am delivery and MindyGets.com.
Head
And this
Papa.
is Sidekicks, plural.
Hi.
Okay. What are you doing?
Who are you, little man?
How are you? Minnie wants to know how are
Hi.
you?
Introduce yourself.
Can you say hi? What's your name? What's your name?
Are you Mr. Monkey?
My finger.
You're gonna take your figure and go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Toddler cameo, one
Toddler.
exit stage left.
Right. Right. And I am Erica. I'm Lovejoy and Sprinkles on Facebook.
Yay.
No, you cannot be going up and down off of my lap. You're either up or you are down. Which one would you prefer?
Yes.
Which one would you prefer? You want up? Okay. Then you have to stay up.
Good
Okay.
luck with that.
And be careful of the
Choosing
jiggling
can be
around.
so hard. It's such a big lesson to learn,
Right.
right? So, Auntie Kirka and I are talking side gig again, but we're talking about side gigs with friends. Yay.
Yay. And with toddlers.
Toddlers.
And
Because
toddlers.
some people side gig to have adult conversations, and we do get to have those. Some people
Yes.
side gig because the side gigs can make life financially better for their families, and the side gig is family friendly. There you are.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry.
Toddler on your lap, plus technology, plus Mercury retrograde. Yay!
Yay. Yes.
Yeah. So, side gigs with friends. Who are they good for? You and me, obviously.
Yes. Well, I think the benefit of having a side gig where you have that built-in support structure, you have built-in camaraderie, you have built-in friend, it's there.
I'm gonna show them this.
Okay, well, I'm trying.
That's nice. Thanks for sharing, Ollie.
Yes,
Oh, I
thank
can
you.
see.
Yes, you can see. See, you can see.
Oh, yes.
You have
Stormtrooper.
built-in trooper support. Yeah, yes. Go.
I
Points are on
know.
Mindy.
Penny's getting points.
I saw it fly away.
But yeah, you have that built-in line of support where it's not, in a world where a lot is unknown. No, I'm trying to, sorry, as you look at my nose,
That's okay.
I'm trying to have a conversation. We're online. Okay. We will talk afterwards. Okay. You and mommy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. When you're starting something new, everything's so new and fresh and unknown. To have that element of known and familiar, I think, is very helpful. To kind of be going through it together,
Yes.
I think is very helpful. Kind of like, when you're a first-time mom, if you have a friend that's doing it together with you. Oliver. When you have a toddler,
Yeah.
you have someone who's going through it together.
Yeah.
Oliver, enough now, please. Hey. Okay.
Hey.
Last time. Okay. Otherwise, you need to go sit with Daddy. Okay.
No,
that's enough now.
What is
That's enough
Daddy
now.
doing?
That's
Do you
enough
even
now.
know? Is he playing with Stormtroopers without you?
He's on his computer. So I think, you know, you're kind of forming a new tribe together, but you've already got this little mini family within that, you know, because I think we've met some really great people in our side gig. Still trying to find that place where that bright light isn't too bright.
Yeah, all right. It's your halo.
There we go.
Sorry. Group shot. Kansas Wind is coming up, and I think you needed that on audio.
Oh, you know, where I think what's been great with our side gig is we found a great group of people that have been very supportive, but we're also going through a lot of this together, and we can kind of bounce our Oliver. Not right now, please. Thank you. You know, I think being able to talk about the feelings and where we are and kind of seeking advice. Yeah, exactly. What's working for you in the moment when you're both in it. I think having people that are above you that have done it before is helpful, but I also think that kind of having somebody who's in that same stage with you can be very beneficial.
Yeah. So side gigs can be anything from community or direct marketing, which is something that we do, or freelance work, can be Etsy shops and farmers markets or whatever else, you know, if you're a gardener and you sell your stuff at a farmer's market on the weekends, you know, that's a side gig. And some of those things might have the really great support systems. Some of them you might be kind of going it alone. There may be some built-in systems for help, like with Etsy. I'm sure they have, you know, Etsy Academy or University or whatever they call it, with videos for training and things like that. If different network marketing or community marketing companies do business in different ways. We happen to have signed up with one that has a huge heart, which I love. But they have systems in place, and this year they have gone over the top in upgrading systems to make our jobs easier, to make everything more simplified and streamlined. And that just shows me that they are a top-notch company, because even in direct sales, you still have a corporate office and like the field office, right? The people on the front lines. And just like going to like Erica's corporate job, you can have, you know, the top level of the company that operates one way, and the people on the front line who are saying, you're not getting it, right?
Right.
We're missing tools that we need. We can't handle this load or whatever, and corporate's just doing their own thing. You can have a corporate in the 9-to-5 day job where the corporate really does do a good job and works with their employees and supports them, and that's awesome. But those sorts of issues can also come up in something like direct marketing or sales. But we happen to have found a fabulous company that doesn't work that way. So that support system is there, and the group and the team that we have built in our building is all about all of the things that align with what we want.
Yeah.
Family support, financial support, encouragement, positive growth and focus. And they work with us as people. We work together as people, not titles. And, you know, like you said, there could be somebody that's in the same place, like i.e. the same rank. But there can also be people that are outrank you, that are locking arms with you and working like with you like you're the same. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So one of the other things that I was thinking about, why someone would be interested in
Can you do
a
it
side gig.
after?
I'm a multi-passionate person,
Can
so
you do it for us?
one job in one place doing one thing.
Can you do it for us?
I
Not
am
gonna
speaking
work.
to Aunt Mindy. Okay, right now I am speaking to Aunt Mindy, okay?
But someone like Erica, you enjoy your job, and it
Mhm.
isn't one thing, one whatever, you know, that you do, but you enjoy your day job. So what does having a side gig offer for you?
Well, so while I enjoy my day job, it also only fits one area of the things that I'm passionate about or that I enjoy. So having the side gig allows me to explore another area. Like you said, you know, you follow multiple passions and multiple thoughts, and so do I. You know, there's more than one thing that I like to do in my life. There's more than one area that I like to learn about, and this is another um, area that I've come to want to learn more about, and you know, which is basically, in this case, it's my family's health, right? And by me learning about it, I've also wanted to expand other people's knowledge of it, and you know, finding that, and then on top of that, you know, I found something that I feel strongly about and I want to bring the message out there, but also having that side gig, while my day job does pay well and it does do some things, having that side gig allows us to do more, right? It's that extra, and I get to do it with a friend. You know, and we get to go do things together, and we get to, while we usually talk a lot anyway, we get to talk even more. um, so it brings a lot of other opportunities, and there are other opportunities that I like to pursue that I don't do as side gigs. You know, there's areas that I like to learn about that have not become side gigs, and that's okay too. This is just one I've decided to kind of pick and pursue, and you know.
Yeah, so the side gig can fund the other passions as well,
Mhm.
especially ones that are well structured, that are, as our friend Katie says, purposefully part-time,
Mhm.
or part-time on purpose, whichever way she phrases it, I don't remember. Um, so that it isn't a hustle. You have to force yourself to work an extra 40 hours on top of your 40 hours, right?
Right.
This one happens to let you do what you can and what you're willing to do for as long as you're willing to do it. There's no some side gigs, some network marketing companies have restrictions on where you can sell and who you can sell to.
Mhm.
They have minimums that you have to meet. If you don't stay at a certain level, then you lose your rank and you lose your bonuses and
Mhm.
that sort of thing. And that doesn't happen with our company, which I love. But I love that it gets to support your other passions. It gets to help pay for, you know, your daughter's archery, and she gets to go probably to some more tournaments, and that doesn't have to be as stressful, because it doesn't matter if you're making $1 million or not. When you decide to do something new or add something in,
Mhm.
the funds have to come from somewhere. So if you have something in your life that allows for a more flexible income as well, because you might love your job, but you can't walk into your boss's office at your day job and say, oh, my daughter really wants to do archery. So I was thinking I'll pop in an extra 3 hours a week and you'll just pay me those extra 3 hours, right? Because, you know, I'm going to skip lunch 3 days a week and you can just up my salary. That's not going to work, right?
Right.
No matter how good your boss is. But you can say, hey, I'm going to spend 3 lunches a week online marketing my side gig, and my daughter's archery is paid for, right?
Right.
Or like us, we talked about how we get to do with this with friends, and We talked last week kind of about some of the more businessy side of things like taxes, and it makes sense to, like, if you have a home-based business, you can take some of your mortgage off of your, it's an expense for your business. So a lot of community marketing have conventions, and getting to go to convention is a business expense, right? So when you do it with friends, you get a vacation with friends,
Right.
right? Courtney Epps was talking about how the best way to write off expenses is to either have something like convention, so you're there the whole time at the business thing, or to bookend. So if you go to convention and then you have a client in the area that you see, convention ends on Saturday, you have a client in the area that you see on Monday, then you get to pay for your free day of fun on Sunday. I mean, they're not going to pay for your Disney World tickets or whatever,
Right.
on Sunday, but the hotel is a necessity. You flew there. That's the necessity.
Right.
And bonus with our company, you get to bring your kids. You can bring your hubby.
Right. Well, and I love that even at the minimum level with our business, it starts to pay for part of your own, some of the best opportunities too is the side gig pays for your own participation in it, if that's the right way to say it, at the minimum, right?
Right.
Yes, there's still a joining fee, right? And there's a annual fee for us, but what we get back helps to pay for our
Right.
own product too. So you
Yep.
get that opportunity, at the minimum. And then from there, it's just whatever you want to do with it and how much you want to participate in it. And then from there, going into a side gig with a friend is great. And it gives you a place, of support. And then I feel honored for the friends that we've met even, and that, the group that we've built, and that we're friends with on top of that. And, going to conventions and knowing that whether it's just me going to the convention, there's a group of people there, or then if the two of us go together, that's great. And we bring our kids, and then there's a larger group there too, that we get to see a couple of times a year. And that's really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. At least with our company, the possibilities are endless. I mean, this year alone, they added extra levels, which meant extra bonuses. So there's some levels that they added in between levels, so it's not such a big jump. And with each level up, you get a bonus. But they also put extra steps at the top of the ladder. So there are 3 more, which is really sweet because like our upline, our top level gal, not that she couldn't earn any more money by having more people on her team.
Stop.
She just had the opportunity to push herself, to grow more, to earn more. Like she would earn more if she was adding more to her group anyway, but this is extra. You get extra bonuses, you get another title. And so I think that's fun and forward thinking, and I love that. And there's a purpose to what I do that keeps me wanting to do it and to wanting to do more. And I enjoy that. And I know that there are a lot of people who need the health insurance that their day job offers. And maybe they aren't personally fulfilled by the thing that they do 9 to 5, but they are doing the responsible adult thing. They're supporting their families. They're bringing in income. They're getting the benefits or whatever from the corporate job that they need, but they need a personal way to find some fulfillment. Or, stay-at-home moms too can be one. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom. Part of why I'm doing what I do is because I want to be with my daughter more. I'm a single mom, and I need to be home. But a lot of times, especially as the kids grow and if they're going to school, moms find they need something else. They want to grow themselves in new ways. And so this is a great opportunity for that as well. Because as you can see, no matter how little your kids are, it's something that you can possibly do.
Well, and I think whatever side gig you choose, I see the difference between friends that have started side gigs, whether they're something that's structured like what we're in, or it's something they've started, like you said, an Etsy shop, or, something that they've done crafting or on their own. I've seen the difference between those that have started it with a friend or have that, and those that have started it on their own, or as a one person go. And I think I can see the differences between them and the benefits to having. There's also cons, there can be, depending on what the business is and what your setup is. I could see some of the negatives that can happen with having a second person there too. But I definitely see a lot of positives with having that other person, that friend, to help shoulder kind of some of that, help out some of that support, that you can lean on a little bit and help. And, you help each other. It's not just always relying on somebody else to help you. It's you help each other through it, and you lend that support. I could definitely see that difference with those that have tried to do it on their own. And whether they're trying something that's different and unique, or they're trying another, toddler, or whether they're trying another network marketing opportunity, I could definitely see the difference between it. And it definitely is worth looking to have that. I mean, I definitely can see the difference. I've tried several in the past, and I have to say, that this is, having you and having a friend there doing it to bounce ideas off of, to bounce thoughts off of, to talk about it with, has definitely been beneficial and helpful. And I've really appreciated it.
And I think that brings up a good point. There are a lot of products out there in the world, and a lot that are offered through community marketing that I love. And I've done one before too, and I had a fabulous upline. And I don't think that there's anything necessarily inherently wrong with that company. It just wasn't the right thing at the right time for me, and doing it alone was harder. And I didn't have the energy or the capacity to make it go. So I think there is something to be said about being, I don't want to say investigative, but being as discerning with choosing your side gig, especially in the community marketing aspect, as it would be to going into an office for an interview. Because, that an office interview, you have to decide, do I want to drive an hour and a half to get there? Do I want to work in an office with cubicles that it's really loud and the office is always cold? Do I want to work with these people and the manager who interviewed me made me feel really uncomfortable? Do I want to work with this company who offers no insurance, no benefits, no time off, whatever? And so do I want to go into this network marketing company when they have, sales quotas, when they have no bonuses, when they have no systems, in place for starting up and teaching you how to share the product, or, build your team, and that sort of thing. And so those are all things to consider when you're looking for something like a side gig. Just because it's $50 or $199 to join doesn't mean it's the right thing. I mean, our company has probably the lowest joining fee that I know of. And they're the only one I know of with corporate level benefits in your upper tiers. You don't know of any that has like tuition reimbursement and full medical. Dental.
Definitely not the full medical. I've never heard of
Yeah.
in the upper levels that being
Yeah.
covered.
And like, not only raises and bonuses, commissions, but also like corporate spending accounts, you know, for like to support you in creating team events, et cetera, and things like that.
Right,
I've never heard of anything like that. And so
Well,
makes me
yeah.
happy to be
and-
on the team we're on.
Yes. Well, and those are the things to consider, because whether, you know, for that person that doesn't like their day job, right, but they have to do it because they need the insurance, that gives them something to shoot for with the side gig, right?
Right.
Knowing that there's that potential in the upper levels to get to that point that maybe you could then lose the side gig or lose the main day job.
Right.
Or somebody like me, where I like my day job and it may be something more part-time on the side, knowing I can do it part-time without a sales quota, without quarterly minimums that are going to break my bank, or, you know, those kind of things. That's helpful. You know, that shows the flexibility of it for anybody that wants to do it.
Well, and who has ever heard of the option to choose? Like, so, I mean, if you have two parents that are both working in a household, or even, you know, a couple without
Please do not
kids,
go in there.
and both people are working jobs that
Do
offer
not go in.
insurance, you do maybe have the choice to
Mhm.
say, are we going with this spouse's insurance? Are we going with this spouse's insurance? Or are we each taking our own, you know, because
No, please stay
the
out of
company
there.
pays
Later,
this much for
Not
the
right now.
employee and only this much for the spouse. And so maybe
because
both
I'm on the
people,
phone right now.
you're on two separate insurance plans
Right.
because that's what works out best and is the most economically feasible for you. But what if you both have day jobs and one of you has this side
Not
gig
now.
and you have
Not
the
now.
opportunity to be like, not his, not hers, side gig insurance? Like, that is mind blowing to me. And side gig pays for the whole family. Mind blowing to me.
Right.
You know, because
Hi, Boo.
that's
Oh, don't lean on my head, please.
probably been one of the big things with me. Like, because I am a part-time employee, I am a full-time mom, and I also own a business. My hours on my business are very flexible, but right now it doesn't pay my health insurance. My day job doesn't either. I have committed to not committing full-time to someone else, but that comes with the insurance is my job, my burden.
Right.
And so it's a huge decision. And I must say, I am floored that is one of the things that I can aspire to in this section, this side gig of my own business, because I do, like I said, multi-passionate, and I do other things as well. But that this portion of, or this side gig can cover that is wonderful.
Well, and I think you also have to find one that's part of your own goals too, because if travel is something that is one of your goals, and one of the reasons why you want to do a side gig that maybe becomes your one gig, that if travel is your goal, finding one where you don't have to have an inventory that you have to deliver, right? There's only a few companies out there where, and ours is one of them, where you don't have to have an inventory on hand. So you truly can be mobile with it. That if the rest of your life and responsibilities leave you open to travel, once you are able to, then having that flexibility to do so is important too. So finding, a side gig that allows you to do that.
Yeah.
Knowing that that's one of your priorities is going to be key too. And then knowing that maybe it's one of those things that can get written off, depending on where you're traveling to and why you're there.
Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, if one of my uplines, one of my friends in the company wanted to come out and do an event with me,
Right here.
I haven't convinced anybody to come to Northwest Kansas to do an event with me. But if they want to come out here to do an event with me, that's totally an expense. Would we totally hang out and be friends, because they're coming here and whatever, and get to do fun things together on top of all of it? You bet. But it would totally be a business expense, and I would love that. I have traveled, so we have online meetings as well, like big online conventions, but I have traveled to be with team in Maine for those conventions because they have home hosts, and we had home hosts in Maine, and some of my closest team members are there. And so part of my travel to see a bunch of friends and friends that are like family in Maine was covered. The big portion for me, because we stay with friends, was the airline tickets. And they were covered because, I was attending a conference. And we had team meetings, we had dinners together and stuff. And so that was a business expense. And my daughter got to go and play in the ocean. I mean, to me, that's definitely worth it. Because travel is important to me, and it's important the way that I am not schooling my daughter, is to give her those opportunities, and this side gig allows that to happen. So I love it. Gotta check time. I think we're close. A little bit over.
And then you get to visit friends, and that's important. So
yeah.
And then also being able to do it, like we said, virtually, and being able to have those online meetings, have those conversations. And then not that we need, like I said, not that we need an excuse to talk, but we have an excuse to talk, right? Because life does get away with you sometimes, and it happens.
Yeah. I mean, there are ways to grow yourself as a person within a corporate environment and day job. And I have a girlfriend also in Phoenix who's had their company do some enrichment programs and not just team building or whatever, and they have benefited her as well. But there's certainly more flexibility when you have a side gig, because personal development is a business expense. So if I wanted to go to a Tony Robbins convention, that could be a business expense, because it's teaching me about confidence and sales and all of those things, which would not necessarily be reimbursable with your company in your day job. But it might be something that you totally personally want to do. It may not make financial sense if it's not a business expense.
Right.
So I love that it supports personal growth. So I'm one of those never quite satisfied people. Or whatever.
I totally understand. Yeah.
That is. But.
Well, and you get to find that personal growth that is important to you, because I think some companies, they do allow that opportunity or provide that opportunity, but it's what works for that company. They try to help they do try to help their employees grow, but in the skills that are beneficial to what, and you can't blame them for that. If it's a sales company, they're going to hone those skills in their employees that help.
Right. So you may
sales,
have
and that's fine.
a selection of opportunities.
Right.
I mean, I know her girlfriend Robin would have some, marketing conventions or whatever, and there would be like these 3 that the company would be interested in
Mhm.
paying for her to go to. But for me, I get to choose. I
Right.
get to choose how I want to better myself, and then I get to have it as an expense because this is my business. So accounting wise, it doesn't matter.
And of course, always talk to your tax accountant on how to
Yes.
do that and how to make it work. Don't make assumptions. Every state's different. How you
Oh,
do
please.
it's different. Make sure.
If strippers can write off boob jobs, I'm pretty sure that I could go to a meditation class and write it off for my healing arts business. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
for sure.
of
For
course.
sure.
But I mean,
But we're not tax accountants, so.
But we recommend Courtney Epps and Outside the Box Accounting
Yes.
and her book, More Relaxing, Less Taxing. But yeah, I mean, if you don't claim a home-based business or you don't have a side gig of any type, writing off itemized deductions for a Tony Robbins convention, the IRS is going to go, what the?
Exactly. Yeah.
How is this a deduction? It's not. So, if you have a Schedule C, it can be.
And then when you get to do it with a friend, it's so much more fun.
Yes. But my friend, I know, needs to rest, and my kiddo has not made an appearance, which means I need to go check on the status of life downstairs. Nanny is downstairs. She's not been left completely to her own devices, but she is almost 4. So one never knows.
Oh, and the quieter they are.
Yes. It's quiet and I don't hear baby bum songs on. So either Nanny has won the remote control battle or they're off doing something. So, yay.
But yes, I need to finish resting and get rid of this.
And contemplating what's up next week. So I think next week we're good. I'm good anyway.
Yes.
For next
We
week.
should be okay next week.
Same time, same bat channel.
Next week is this. Ow!
That
That was my knee. Okay. Well, almost done.
So,
We'll say bye to
as always, like, share, comment. We will
Stop now, please.
be posting this to YouTube.
No,
If you have
I
ideas or
think
things that you have questions about or want to talk about, that is great. You can find
we are
Auntie
here.
Kirka over on Love, Joy, and Sprinkles on Facebook. I'm MindyGetz.com and I'm MindyITV.com.
The best.
We will see you around the interwebs,
The
maybe in
best.
person.
You never know.
All right, we're gonna stop.
All right. Have a wonderful week. As the light goes right in front of my face. Have a wonderful week.
Yes, take care.